Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I would like to share with you 3 recipes that we absolutely love, all using chicken breast. All 3 recipes are really easy to make, they're budget friendly, and most importantly the kids love them. So follow along with me, take a look at how I make them. I do put like a little recipe card in before I explain how to do each one of them, so you can take a look at all the ingredients. Feel free to substitute them however you like. You know, this is not written in stone, this is just how we do it.
So the first recipe is the chicken and bell peppers, which is basically a stew that goes really nicely with either pasta or potatoes or rice. We start off with chopping 1 red onion, just because it's got a little bit more nutrition than a white or brown or yellow onion. So I'm chopping it quite finely. I'm also going to peel and chop garlic as well, 2 garlic cloves, and I'm going to try and make them exactly the same size as the onions so they can cook all together without one of them burning. Then I'm going to also thinly slice a bell pepper. So I only had a yellow one, but any of them would do. Maybe not a green one because they can be quite sour. But I'm putting them in a bowl after I finally chop them into strips, because later on I'm going to be doing the chicken and I did not want to dirty up 2 chopping boards. I was being a bit lazy, but it worked out at the end. Chicken breast, as you can see, they're still a little bit frozen and they were quite big, so if you've got small ones, use 3. I did try to chop them into even slices and my chopping board is just moving about so much on this video. I really need to invest into better chopping boards, but these ones work just fine. Now on to the spices. You guys know I love my spices. So I'm adding a little bit of nutmeg and oregano to the onion and garlic, and lots of paprika. I used about a tablespoon of sweet paprika, and then I also added a little bit of smoked paprika, just because we try not to eat anything with nasties in it, and we haven't had chorizo in ages. So this is kind of our little indulgence for that. But I basically added a bit of oil and I pan fried it all together, and when it was cooked, I put it in a separate bowl, and that will be our flavor pod that we'll be adding on a little bit later. So when my frying pan is free, I added the chicken in there, and since it was a bit frozen, it gave off a lot of juices, but that's fine. I added back the flavor pod, added some chopped tomatoes, mixed it all together, and oh, look at that, that is so yummy. I also added 1 bay leaf in there that I completely forgot to mention. The peppers went in as well, and it was all cooking and reducing. We made it with pasta and peas for extra protein, and of course a bit of grated cheese. It does not hurt anybody. We absolutely love it. This is one of our favorite midweek dinners that are super simple to make and are very budget friendly. Now onto the green soup, aka the Hulk smash soup, because you know, whenever you say something like that, it always tastes better to the kids. So we start off by making shredded chicken, so it could not be easier. Literally pop in raw chicken breast into the water and let it boil until the chicken is nice and soft and is ready to be shredded. In the meanwhile, we're going to do the soup. So I chopped up 1 onion, however you want to chop it will do, because it's going to get blended at the end anyway. I also added 2 garlic cloves to it as well, again roughly chopped. Pinch of sage, a bit of oil, lots of pepper. I think that's the secret to any good tasting soup, is lots and lots of pepper. While all of that was cooking, I also chopped up a courgette. In my family, I'm the only one who likes courgette, me and Millie, like my little one, but the boys cannot stand it, so I am basically going to be hiding it in this recipe and they will never know. So I'm going to pan fry it with the onion and garlic as well, just to caramelize it a little bit. As you can see, the chicken, for the shredded chicken, is really starting to cook now. But in the meanwhile, I'm also chopping up one potato just to add a bit more creaminess to the soup. The courgette will really help with that, but this will definitely make it a little bit more filling. So the chicken was ready in about 20 minutes or so. I am shredding the chicken and I am reserving the juices that they were cooked in for the soup to add an extra bit of protein and especially flavor. So I'm adding the potatoes into the soup and they're gonna start cooking as well. I'm just gonna finish shredding all that chicken. So all this chicken is also for our lunches as well. We're only gonna use about half of that for this particular meal. So as you can see, I've covered the veggies, the potato with the chicken stock that the chicken breast was cooking in, and it's all starting to boil. It will make the flavor so much nicer than just using plain water or stock cubes. Then I also added the peas, but what I had in that bag was definitely not enough, so I opened another one. And in total, I used about 2 cups of peas. I like to use petit pois because I think they taste so much sweeter. In the meanwhile, I also cut up a medium-sized head of broccoli, and I will add that last minute. I was just checking that all the veggies were cooked before I added the broccoli, because broccoli literally needs 3-4 minutes and then it's done. I also added a bit more water and I will blend it up. Unfortunately, my camera decided to shut at this point, so I could not film for you the actual blending, but you know, I was literally using just a stick blender and it was super easy because the veggies turned soft, but they still stayed nice and green. So after it was all cooked, I gave it a taste and added even more pepper. I did not add any salt just because Millie, my 1-year-old, will be having it, so she doesn't have salt yet. I added even more water just to bring it to the right consistency that we like. So she, my little one, had it with some bread on the side and a little bit of shredded chicken. My son had it exactly the same way, and I added some toasted sesame seeds on top, the black sesame seeds, which are so healthy. We also had some toast with some butter on the side with it. So what's the verdict, Jane?
Yum!
So this recipe is for a pesto and mozzarella chicken that I've done with some roasted potatoes and some tender stem broccoli. I started off by chopping, slicing, whatever, 1 tomato. Taking some chicken breasts that I am going to pan fry with a tiny bit of oil just to start off the cooking process and reduce the amount of time it needs to be in the oven. While it's cooking, I also sliced one of the mozzarella balls. So as you can see, I'm flipping the chicken over until I get it golden brown from both sides. I also partly boiled some of the baby potatoes that I'm just going to add some oil to and put it on a baking tray with a bit of parchment paper. As you can see, I keep turning that chicken breast over and over until I get it golden brown on both sides. And one of the other chicken breasts I had from the pack, I'm just boiling as our shredded chicken that we use honestly on everything. Pizzas, sandwiches, etc., just because we don't eat processed meats such as ham, and this is a really lovely alternative. I'm just adding some salt and pepper onto the potatoes as well. When the chicken is nice and golden brown, I'm popping it also on the same baking tray.
What did you get for me, Jamie?
Rosemary!
From the garden?
Yeah!
I am going to add on to the potatoes. Then I also got the pesto in my fridge. I was being a bit lazy. I did not have any pesto in my freezer, so this needed using up. So I added about a teaspoon on each breast and just smushed it on to spread it all nice and evenly. Then I put some tomatoes that I sliced before on each one of the breasts and topped it off with sliced mozzarella. So you can see they're quite thick pieces, but that is fine. And off it goes into the oven. In the oven at about 180 degrees, it was in there for about 20 to 25 minutes. The chicken was nice and cooked through, the potatoes were nice and caramelized and roasted, and I'm just plating it up with some tender stem broccoli that I have steamed beforehand. Oh, and those juices are so yummy, so make sure not to discard them and top them on the dish. So yummy, we absolutely love it.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to hear in the comments below what you thought of the recipes and if you've actually managed to make one of them or all of them. I cannot wait to hear. So do please give me a thumbs up because it will really support my channel, and subscribe. I will see you in my next one. Thanks guys, bye!